folks, and welcome to Subjective Thoughts. And our book for today is Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. This is the first book in the Before the Coffee Gets Cold series, and this is the English translation by, one moment. This was translated to English from Japanese by Geoffrey Trolls. I'm not sure how to pronounce that surname. But yeah, there we go. This is the gentleman who translated it. There will be spoilers. Good enough. Okay. Now, I haven't heard of this book. I found the second book of this series at the bookstore and picked it up. The summary is pretty similar to the summary of the first book. And when I got home and found out that it's the second one in the series, I was like, damn it. So, finally this year, I've got the first one. I gotta say this again, would they kill them, just put a little number somewhere here so it's easier to divine, see. Oh, and this is by Picador. Yeah, somewhere, put even a small number. I'll never get over that. Right, anyway, finally, I've read the first book. So this is I think it's the genre of a bit of magical realism, which is where you have magic, but it's in more realistic grounds, I guess. Not full blown out fantasies, dragons, witches, and all that kind of shit. So the story is there's a cafe in Tokyo where it's rumored that if you go there, you can travel back to the past. Now, of course, not many believe it. It's more of an urban legend, but it is true. So there's this little cafe. It's on the ground floor. And you can, in fact, travel back to the past, but there are many rules. Which is why many people don't actually do it. Okay, so you have to sit in a particular seat in the cafe to do that. And, you can only do it once a day because there's a ghost lady that sits there. And you have to wait until she gets up to go to the bathroom. Don't question it why ghosts have to pee. Just go with it. And then you can sit there and the waitress will pour you coffee in the simple plastic, in the simple white cup from a silver teapot. And now the thing is, you can only meet someone you have met at that cafe. I mean, someone that's been in the cafe. They'll transport you back in time, but only back in time to the cafe. So if the person you wanted to So if the person you wanted to talk to wasn't there with you, tough titties. You're just gonna go back. So, and also, when you're there, you have to, whatever you want, you have to do it before the coffee gets cold. Because once it gets cold, you will get stuck there. So you have to do whatever it is you want to do there. Although, it's not exactly that easy. You have to stay in the same seat. You can't get up and walk around. You have to sit where you are. And if you get up, you'll just be transported back to the present. As you can see, many catches, you don't really have a lot of time. Although I thought about it, and you can maybe get around it by getting a thermos cup. Those ones that keep your drink warm. I mean, I'm just kidding. That wouldn't work, but imagine you could go back and sit there for an hour. Your coffee will still be warm. And just pour it into a regular cup. And then you wait for it to cool. Yeah, wow, that's stupid, but I just thought about it with the time limitation. So those are the rules. So we follow the characters that travel back to the past. First, we have this young lady named Famiko. I'll probably butcher names because these are Japanese, and I had to look up on Google how to say the writer's name. And I'm not even sure I pronounced that correctly. So she's the first one. She went into this cafe and had a last conversation with her boyfriend. He's moved to America to work, and she didn't like how they talked in their final time. So she's determined to go, and she does. Then we have a cafe regular, the wife of a man who has dementia. She also goes back. Then we have the sisters, also another cafe regular. He Rai. She also travels. And then the last story is called. There's 4 stories. The last story is called Mother and Child, and that's another employee of the cafe. But she goes to the future, which I didn't think we'd have here. You can also go to the future. But the thing is, why it would be pointless for you to do that is that you can't. How can you be sure that the person you want to see will be in the cafe in the future? Right? So you're wasting a trip because you can only travel once. That's another catch. You can only do it once. So there you go. Yes, we followed these characters in the cafe. And the stories are kind of a little bit connected because it's in the same, it happens. So in the first story, then 2 weeks have passed since the first story. It's been a really enjoyable read. I did like the characters, and it was. I agree with Alex when she said it was very bittersweet. All the 4 stories. The last one was especially sad. I know I said spoilers, but I won't go into too many details. But it is a really lovely concept also as well. And also with it's kind of. I'm trying to say it's got a good message about how in life it's not like you really get a chance, right? They can't really fix the past because that's the thing. They can go back to the past, but they can't change it. It doesn't matter if they try to change something; it'll still happen the way it did. The present will stay the same, so it doesn't matter. All they get is just a chance to go back for a few minutes, and that's it. To see the person they wanted to see. Again, you feel like that would be a waste of time. What's the point? I can go back, but I can't really do much. As in life, right? You don't really get a second chance most of the time. You just have that one, and whatever happens, happens. And it's more about the main character, the one that travels back to get closure, to accept it, to get a change of heart, as they say. So that's a good message about it, how you can't really change the past. You have to make the changes in the present to improve the future. Which is really all there is for here. So I thought that was very lovely. And I did admit first of the story, I didn't like the waitress character, Toshikazu, but the more I've read, the more I started to like her. You can see why she's like that. As I said, let's say the cafe is run by this little family. I don't really go into how if they inherited the cafe or what. Perhaps that'll come later on in the stories. But that is very interesting because in between the traveling of each of the 4 characters, you also get a bit about the cafe and everything else. And it is curious who this lady is. Because in the first story, we learn that she's someone who went back to the past, but didn't drink her coffee in time. Now, I wonder if that is actually the case. Perhaps that's where you can only go when she gets up to the bathroom. Now, the thing is, she is described as a ghost, but you can't touch her. She's tangible. And but if you try to move her forcefully, she will curse you. You'll become very heavy, and the only way to break the curse is to give her more coffee. But only the waitress, Kazu, can do that. Or barista, what would she be considered? Yeah, only she can do it. Hey, yes, this was a very enjoyable story. Some, nice, a nice life lesson, if that was the point, of course. But yes, I really recommend this if you like these kinds of stories. I think it's a really lovely read. And here I'll show you. It's also very short, all things considered. So here, oh yeah, and here's this question: if you could go back, who would you want to meet? Before I started the book, I have thought about it, and then, but then after I read how it works, I was like, bummer. Yeah, so there you see, you have the contents. So all the 4 stories. I thought about it. I would go to meet my mom, as my mom died when I was a few months old, and I mean. I say that she probably obviously wouldn't recognize me, but I would go meet her, even if I could just, go back and look at her for a few minutes. I would go do that. I mean, I've been struggling between my mom and my grandfather, because I got to meet my grandfather, but I never got to even, remember my mom, so. That's who I would go back to see, just to even look at her for a few minutes. At least that. Well, that's who I would go see if I could go back. Although, granted, I couldn't get down to the cafe because it has stairs and I'm a cripple. But still, that's who I would go meet. This isn't what I imagined before I started reading the book. I thought this was kind of... You go to the cafe, and you get your coffee, and you can sit. And I just imagined it was something like longer. You can go there, you can take the coffee. I mean, it will get cold, but I thought, you can maybe sit there for a while or something like that. Wander in the cafe. And I also imagined that multiple people can do it at the same time. I thought it was to be the kind of cafe you go in, everyone's like... kind of like a ghost there sitting with cafes, but no, it's just that one. And also, the cafe itself isn't very large. There's only like 3 tables, I think, and 3 places at the bar to sit. And this also makes me wonder how this place keeps up financially, because again, not a lot of room. And it's not like there's a shit ton of people there. It's also in the side street. So it kind of makes me wonder how they, it's probably expensive to keep up a cafe. Yeah, maybe the ghost lady's helping them, because there's something that always keeps the cafe cool. Because it's practically the same as it's been when it was first built in I think the 1800s it was. So I'm just curious how they keep it up financially. I think they would need more clients, right? Yeah, though granted, they don't have to pay for the place, so maybe that's how. I don't know, it's a silly thing, but I kept thinking about it. Yeah, so that's about it. One more thing, though, that a bit annoys me. You see this cute cat here? There is no cat in the story, and all the covers that I've seen for the series have a cat, but there's no cat in here yet. I really hope there's a cat at some point. Because look, it's so cute, he's there, but it's not actually in the story. False advertising. But I do like how they made the covers. It looks like it's, the second book also, it's cut like this. And although in the second book this is gold, and a golden color and yellow, it also has a cat. And you can see, and also for some reason the cafe has 3 clocks. Grandfather clocks, but only But only one is accurate. I wonder if that has to do something with it. Yeah, it is nice, but I do hope we get a cat. Oh, there's 5 books to the series already. There's Stories from the Cafe. I don't remember what the 3rd book is called, but the 4th one is called Before We Say Goodbye. And then the 5th book haven't yet been translated to English, I think. So yes, I really loved this. I'm going to read the 2nd one, and I'll probably pick up the rest of these, because it looks like it's going to be a nice, lovely, bittersweet series to read. Alright, that is it, folks. Let me know if you've read Before the Coffee Gets Cold. What did you think about it? Have you read any of the other books in the series? And that is it. Now remember, collect what you're passionate about and share it on YouTube. Bye!